Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Can you hear me now? YK the Truth. Please block YK the Truth. He is so in love with Polight. Somebody block YK the Truth. We don't like him over here because he doesn't want to learn nothing. He doesn't want to. He just a graveyard podcaster, YouTuber. Block him. Somebody block YK the Truth. He's not welcome here. He just talk a bunch of nothing, a bunch of nonsense. We don't want him over here. We want to block him. I block him myself. I'm gonna do an executive block on him. I'm going to do an executive block on YK the Truth. He's just so in love with Polight. Yeah, just block him. We don't want him over here. What we want him over here for? He's just a big distraction. He's been protecting Polight by the way of podcasting, that the man is not guilty, that the man he didn't do anything, and that people owe him an apology. Man, we don't even want to argue with insane people like that. I just pray that he doesn't have a daughter and these accusations wouldn't be up against his daughter, you know what I mean, and his family. I pray for that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, you just block people like that. Like, for all the years that this guy has been trying to do podcasts, he has been doing nothing but living in a graveyard on YouTube. It doesn't even make sense to even say anything to a person like that. It doesn't even make sense. Like, I would be a fool to even try to even dialogue with a person like that. It just doesn't make sense. And I encourage any and everybody that when you discover a fool like that, you know what I mean, you just keep it moving. You know what I mean? We got bigger fish to release. You know what I'm saying? We got bigger fish to release. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody has time for silly stuff like that. You know what I mean? But with that being said, family, we about to get busy tonight. Let me go ahead and say thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting with a share, with a Cash App, with a what else y'all do? A thumbs up. Thank you for supporting the channel, because without you, it really wouldn't even make sense to even do this. You know what I'm saying? Without you, it wouldn't even make sense to do this, because the haters, and I don't even want to use the term haters, the failed podcasters, if you will, the failed podcasters, they don't want to see this happen. You know what I mean? The ones that can't gain any momentum, they can't gain any steam, they don't have the charisma, they don't have the corny jokes, they don't have anything. They just turn on their camera and then they try to be successful talking about nothing or defending something that don't have a defense to it. And so, you know, we really cover a lot of ground here, and I support each and every one of you. So if something goes down, you reach out to me, and we going to look into it. You know what I'm saying? But it got to be worth the while. It got to be worth the while. You know what I'm saying? But how y'all feel tonight? Y'all good? How y'all feeling? Y'all good? Family, I'm trying to tell you, it be getting warm in here. Family, did y'all know that they got these things? Let me show y'all something. Y'all should try this. Give me a second. So look, it be getting warm in here. Family, I need to do commercials for these people. I just got this today, right, as seen on TV. And so above me is a light right there. Man, this is a mean machine right here, man. I'm trying to tell you, sometimes I be all worked up and I be getting fired up in here. You know what I mean? And I be sweating. And so I got a little fan. See what I'm talking about? But I'm trying to tell you. I got it. Hey man, I be amazed with technology. It be like I've been in college for 20 years and just got out yesterday. I be like, wow, you can screw it in the light bulb and that's it. I be amazed with technology, man. Wow, that's all I gotta do. I can just screw it, and it's a fan with a light. Wow. I thought I had to call in the big guns and put a whole ceiling fan up. Not no more. Nah, buddy. Not no more. Feel like I did 20 years. Just got home yesterday and just as excited. $30. Somebody said they can't hear anything. DJ Mays, you can't hear me? Can anybody else hear me? $30, man. I was excited, man. So anybody that gave a Cash App, let me tell you, your Cash App or part of it went to a fan today. I'm trying to tell you. Look, I'm excited. Hey, look, it got a little button on that demonstration. It got a fan button. Look, let me show you something. Let me see if I... Yeah, this is amazing, man. This is amazing, man. Come on, keep the Cash Apps coming. Keep the Cash App coming. I'm going to put one of these in the car so I can go live from the car. Hey, citizens, keep the cash. I'm gonna have one of these joints right up in the middle of the car. Y'all know where the light in the car? Goodness gracious. I'm trying to tell you, keep it coming. I'm gonna have one in the car. I'm gonna have one in the shed. I'm gonna have one everywhere. Come on. Cause man, these topics be getting hot. So family, tonight, as you can see to the left of me, we have our sister Uma York is on the show tonight, family. Oh man. And family, I wanted to hear Sister Uma York. If anybody don't know, if you've been under a rock, Uma York is the daughter of Dr. Malachi Z. York. And the reason why this is so important, because before Polight jumped out the window, we had did a show, right? We had did a show. And on that show, Sister Uma had mentioned that it was a culture of pedophilia, you know what I'm saying, in those or that group. And many people try to attack our sister and try to act like she was trying to defend her father. And I mean, they was throwing out all sorts of stuff, but we didn't pay it no mind because sis was just coming to tell her story. And what a story it was. It was an amazing story. But one of the part of the story that was disheartening is when she said Polight tried to take her out. And so we're going to revisit that, and then we're going to bring it forward because we got a lot of new people on here tonight. We're going to revisit that, and we're going to bring it forward. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that we talked about before, and it actually became a reality as we speak. You know, we're going to mention, I'm going to mention a whole bunch of stuff. It's about to get hot up in here. It's about to get hot up in here, family. Because if y'all have been watching, and this is why it's so important to continue to watch Mwtv, because these are series that we will always come back and revisit. You know what I mean? And Uma York, she called it. She called it. She called it straight down the middle like an empire strike. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, how she called it is what it is, and we're gonna talk about it today. So, family, I want you to kick back. Did I get my boocher? Dita did. I want you to kick back, family. And man, this is going to be a beautiful interview. We're going to try to keep it within an hour, no more than an hour and a half, but we're going to power punch straight out the door. So let's just get to it, family. Out without a doubt. Let's just bring it on in, family. There we go.
Check 1, 2. It's time to expose the frauds. It's time for us to go hard. It's time to expose the frauds. It's time for us to go hard. It's time to expose the frauds. It's time for us to go hard. It's time to expose the frauds. It's time for us to go hard. It's time to expose the frauds. It's time for us to go hard. First of all, let me welcome y'all to Mwtv. Come on, it's time to go. Ain't nobody gonna deceive me. Deceive who? Deceive you. Never on my watch. Time to cook, pull out the pot, turn up the heat, let's make it hot. Don't be tripping on them frauds when you're rolling with the guard. Hey, Crip, Sonny, Box, and Abu X, and Sean, Yasmin, and the Queen got Sean from the Shy, Candy Chamber, Ishmael Bay, and Zinsuna. Anybody they can get it if they gripping on the fam. Mwtv, investigating all scams. Gon' check my record and please don't front. Come on, keep it a buck. I ain't been wrong once. From Sinetta and Polight and Tethering, Bay, Malik, Zulu, Shabazz, and Grandmaster J. Word to God to all the frauds. I brought them to the knees, but they ain't nothing. Watch how I do to Tariq Allah Nasheed.
Oh yeah, we about to heat up now.
Mwtv, I'm your host, Brother Polight.
Hey family,
Let's get on these.
as I said, I gotta say a little few things.
And let's shut them
before we
down.
start
Let's
the
go.
show.
Hit that like, hit that subscribe.
Hey
That's
family,
right, let everybody know it's going down. Mwtv,
I wanna
we gon' shut it down.
I want to make a confession.
Platforms. Thumbs up. The show starts now. Let's get it.
Hey, family, I want to make a confession. I got to make a confession. Hey, Stephen X, I got to make a confession before I bring sis on. So today, I was near D.C., and I was walking in this store. Everybody, can y'all hear me good? Am I okay? I was walking in this store, and a brother was looking at me. Press 7 if you can hear me. What's up, black son? So brother was looking at me, they didn't some kind of way celebritize me. Everywhere I go, somebody know me, seem like it, you know what I mean? Man, listen, it is what it is at this point, right? But I'm walking up in the joint, man, and the brother walk up on me, and he said, brother, how you doing? So, I mean, it got to be from the show. At first, I'm like, man, who is these people? At one time, I used to be like that. But anyway, he caught me out there tethering, man. He caught me out there tethering. Shout out to this brother right here, Brother Saeed. He caught me tethering. I was in the African store. I give them a shout out called Doors to Africa, trying to get me some tether garbs, you know what I mean? I like my tether garbs sometimes, you know what I mean? So I went there, and they caught me up in that demonstration. He said, brother, I said, and he walked in there with me. I said, you tethering too? So me and him, we tethered together. But it's a beautiful thing, family. It's a beautiful thing that Mwtv has been able to create friendships, relationships, as well. Somebody say tethering. Tethering, are we? But friendship relationships from all walks of life. I mean, all backgrounds. And I mean, all parts of for me, every city I go to, I find somebody that know me or somebody pull me up. But this brother here, I'm going to bring him on the show. He has this thing going on in D.C. It's called From Hustling to Harvest, or something like that. Maybe I may have butchered it a little bit, but hustlers to harvesters, from hustlers to harvesters, something like that. So you know what I mean? These hustlers have went. Mwtv loves the tethers. Absolutely. We have people. We all want people. But anyway, it's a beautiful thing what he was explaining to me, that in Washington, D.C., that they got gardens around D.C., you know what I'm saying? And the hustlers are now harvesting their own food. So next week, I'm going to take a trip out to D.C., and as I told him on the show, that as we highlight these scammers and these grifters, it only makes sense that we highlight those who are doing some really, really good work in the community. It's only right that we highlight them too, because when we expose the tethers, for being tethers. No, when we expose the grifters for being the grifters, and we decide that we want to work with all of our brothers and sisters, no matter where they're from, no matter where they may be, as long as we on the same mind frame, we need to know where they at. And so therefore, if you want to buy any garbs, you can go right out there, right outside of D.C. in Laurel, Maryland. It's called Door to Africa. Beautiful garbs up there. Met the brother there today, and he's from D.C. because it's right a stone throw away from D.C., and I'll be getting with him. You know what I'm saying? I'll be getting with him soon, because we gotta highlight the positive as much as we expose the frauds. You know what I'm saying? I think my sister might be ready. Let me see. Let me check. See if my sister ready. Sister, are you ready yet? Let me put the intro on. I can't see you. Are you ready? Sister Uma York, are you there?
I be that more you gon' remember.
Check 1, 2.
I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more
Check
you
1,
gon'
2.
remember.
Sister Uma York, are you there?
Line till the law call my number.
We about to go
I'ma be that
on.
more you gon'
We
remember.
about to go on.
I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. Tell me the big front line till the law call my number. You a friend of the more than you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those who speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I speak about the prophet. Who was the first to remind you and bind you back?
have dropped. Nah, I'm just making sure my sister's ready. I'm making sure my sister's ready. Come on.
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number.
Everybody say that at a time.
I was told to hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it with straight facts. You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off black. Now here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people talk European, how to bathe. And look at that women buying European hair. You in the building, you in the building. They got a love for real. Whole generation got a real sir. Yeah, they love for ya. Chip, Kodak, Amigo, Raw, Lucid. But when I love for the one that look like your mother, I guess they say it's all black when the sun is the cover. Now cypher, I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. That's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars hot, I got hammer for the record. You ain't building on the ground, then you worse than a twerk. You know it sound good, but that's
Hey Zola. Come on, Zola. Hey
Uma.
Come on. Zola, let's go. We got. Don't get too excited. Hey, Uma. Go on, man. No, for real. Let me tell you something. When I talk to Uma York, it's like a long-lost sister to me. And a lost and found sister, if you will. Because when we talk, we like connect. Like we connect on ideas. We connect on seeing the end result the same way. We connect on. We got to let people know what's really going on, uncut, unfiltered. We connect on a different level. And so somebody say I'm echoing. Am I echoing? Let me see. Oh, hold up. Let me check something. Let me check something. Hold up. Somebody says I'm echoing. I think I know what I got to do. Can you hear me now, Uma? Check 1, 2. Uma York, can you still hear me? But I can't hear you for some reason. Let me see. How about now? What's the echo now? Check. Somebody say I'm echoing. Hold up, family. I told you I had something going on earlier. Hold up. Let me check. Don't panic yet. Don't panic yet. Don't panic yet. Let me see something. Okay. Check 1, 2. Still echo. All right, hold up. Check. Still echo. I hear the echo too. Yeah. Somebody say, get your audio. I thought I had it right. Hold up. One second. Let me see. I don't know what's going on. Oh! Yeah, I got an echo too. Hold up. Check. I thought I fixed. Check. I thought I fixed it earlier. Still echo. Let me hear. Ah, man. Hold up. Hold up. How I sound now? I sound all right now? All right, hold up. Now let me Let me get sis up in here. Let me get sis up in here. Sis, let me hear you say something. Hold on. Let me get sis up here. Sis, let me hear you say something. I can't. Oh, there we go. All right, there you go. Let me hear you say something.
Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, how sis sound?
Better now. Oh, I was the one echoing.
No, it was me.
Okay.
All right, tell me how sis sound before we get started. All right, they say let me check. See how you sound. Oh, all right, you sound good. All right, cool. All right, so sis, welcome back, sis. The last time you were here, right? We was talking about we actually was talking about Brother Polight. We actually talked about your father. We talked about quite a few things.
Yeah, a lot
We
of
even
things.
we even talked about you traveling to Africa. I think that was an amazing show
Yeah.
because you got me now. If I'm going to Africa, I ain't really interested in Cairo too much. I mean, I'm
Like
with
I
you going to
said,
the interior.
S1 and down, S1 and down.
Yeah, exactly. But sis, for the people that don't know, could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself? For the people that don't know, just give us a brief a one over. Who is Uma York, if you will?
I'm a creator. I'm a designer. I'm a mother. You know. I'm a philanthropist. I travel the world. I'm a writer. I do a lot. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for years. For those who obviously know, they also know that I've been a dominatrix for years as well. So it's those little things here and there. But,
I'm sitting there been laughing because Uriah the one said, Uma, I love you and need you. Oh my goodness. But let me ask you, sis. Now, the topic of discussion is I want your reaction about Brother Polight. But could you give us a brief history of your interaction with Brother Polight? When did you had interaction with Brother Polight prior to what he's up against right now? How long ago was that?
It was about 14 years ago. At Bushwick Avenue in the house where I was born at. I was living in that house, and during the time that my father was incarcerated, so many people were, just coming over, like different, people pretending to be a part of the organization or whatever. He had access to the first floor of the house, which is the bookstore, which is still the bookstore on Bushwick Avenue. He got access to the bookstore through a woman named Sakina Patricia Lewis. And I guess that was his way of he was basically trying to get in and create his obviously his followings or whatever he did, his little cult, off of my father's name. You know what I'm saying? My father don't know this man or didn't know this man. These are people that have been implanted from other people who obviously, like I say, I've been saying over and over and over again, they seem to have some kind of agenda or something that they got going on, but
So when you and Polight had an encounter, what was that? How did that encounter come about? When y'all ultimately would have an encounter?
When I first encountered him, he was staying inside of the bookstore. It was like I was curious of who's this guy, staying in the bookstore, and I was living inside the house on the third floor. It was basically only family there. And all of a sudden he was living there, and some guy named Water and this other guy, Antonio or some other guy. Yeah, they were all living there with their wives or women that they were with during the time. That was also, I guess, Amunet. She was also there during the time. Um, yeah, and while they were there, they were, regular people, just like, I guess they made it seem like these were people that were homeless that needed somewhere to stay temporary and stuff like that. And the bookstore, my father normally gives people, place to stays sometimes, so I didn't look at it as a big thing. But yeah, these people, they started trying to take over the bookstore and making it seem like, they're teaching class and stuff. And with the help of people like Simon Templar and Cyanetta, and Sakina, obviously the person who was clearly funding this. This is lady, like I said, Patricia Lewis. She was obviously the one that was funding all of this stuff, and they gave him a platform to do basically what he was doing.
Right. And so how did you and him become to come to that ultimately will come to at odds? And real briefly, just to give everybody an update, that ultimately it was like it appeared that he tried to take you out at some point.
Yeah, because and the reason why he tried to obviously take me out is because I started asking questions, because I'm obviously too inquisitive. I started asking questions about why is he there, asking Sakina, Patricia Lewis, how long are these people going to be there? They're going to be helping paying, bills at Bushwick Avenue, because people can't just be there living for free, and it was like he had people coming in and out. There were people coming in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So I didn't know what really was going on there. There was a lot of suspicious activities, going on in and out of there. You know, as what people would say, they gang related. I don't know. I don't believe them to be that much gang related. I don't know. It
Right.
just depends. You know, yeah. So I pretty much paid attention to that when, as a matter of fact, it happened the night of the Eid. It happened.
She pulled out the notes on him. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I have the police report. Um, I have the police report right here. This is parts of it. It happened 8/14/07. His
Wow.
name is Michael. His name is Michael E. Noor Jr.
Is it Noak or is Nor on there?
Noor, like it's Noor. Michael
Bec-
Michael E. Noor Jr.
how is it spelled, the last name? Because he's moved with a lot of aliases. Today it's Noak,
And
Noke,
and
Noak.
it's Noak.
Yeah.
It's Noak. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's it.
Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael E. Noor Jr. Yeah, that's
Okay.
his name. Yeah, it happened basically that that far back.
And you still
Over in
and you still
2007.
holding on to, you still have the police report? That's amazing.
Yeah,
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 absolutely.
because my mom always taught me to hold on to paperwork and pay attention to paper trails, and it kind of just made me the type of person that paid attention to a lot of things. Um, so yeah, I do hold on to a lot of things. I even have the detective that was on the case and information. I hold on to their cards and
Wow.
all
Yeah, that's
kinds of
heavy.
stuff. Yeah, I just I figure it comes in handy somehow, and here it is. Look.
Well, let me say this to you. The last time you said, let me respond to the super chat. The next Supreme said, "GS, you gonna help brother Ricky get some people to expedite them permits?" Man, Ricky playing games. He ain't trying to get no permits, and if he do, he's trying to get it through the back door. But LA ain't playing with him. But he got bigger things to worry about. Off topic a little bit. He got bigger things to worry about, and we be reporting that on the next show. But back to sis. Sis, one thing that you had mentioned that it's the elephant in the room is what Polight has been convicted of, what he been accused of, what he been charged with, and what he ultimately committed according to the victim's mother, as well as the police report. But you had mentioned that there was a culture within those circles that would move on this type of behavior, or it was talk of it, if you will.
Yeah, it was like amongst the tribe there were people that spoke about some of these guys that they would go after like 15-year-old girls, or this was conversations, I believe. So many people have just came to me and spoke to me about it. Now, you do have those people like I've spoken about, the douchebag, the douchebag dude, the Basil Muhammad guy, who is a pedophile. There's different. I've spoken about different things that were clearly obvious, that had my family clearly attack me over it. If people remember those videos as well, when I spoke about how there's a lot of people that were underage, that had kids, they ignored the fact that a lot of his own kids had children underage as well, So, oh yeah.
I remember one time you had mentioned, everybody wanted to be talking about your father, and you was like, that your heart is for the victim. If there is victims out there, your heart is for the victim. Like, you're not here to discuss is, what, or maybe, but the victim is most important. And then,
the reality of it is there's other people out here that clearly think that this is okay to do this thing to children and stuff like that, and then the message needs to be told. Somebody has to talk about it. I understand, and people know, and I know those people in those organizations. They know, and it's just not right. I really need to protect the children. There's a lot of creeps out there. They come out of the woodworks. They're scammers. They're Lord knows, all they do is put these costumes on, and all of a sudden people start worshiping them and listening to everything they say, and just because they have a lot of numbers does not mean that that's a person that you should follow. Remember to follow a person's character more than anything. Character will tell you everything, you know what I mean? So I mean, sometimes I don't even know what to say. Sometimes it baffles me how much I see people just fall for anything, so.
When you were on Bushwick Ave and Polight was there on Bushwick Ave, would you imagine, or could you see, because I didn't see this coming. I really didn't.
Yeah, I didn't expect it.
Yeah, until
you talking about the
charges.
Thing?
The charges.
No. I, to be honest with you, I didn't look at him to be like a type of person that was like a pedophile.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
But I will say, my brother Bashir, Imam Bashir, was on the show, and he started pointing out little subtle signs. And I'm like, wow.
I mean, I guess
it.
I didn't.
To
be honest with you,
but I didn't see it either.
After the whole shooting situation, I blocked the guy on like every social media platform and stuff. I just didn't want anything to do with it, the thought or anything like that. So it was, out of sight, out of mind kind of situation. So I didn't, I wouldn't hope anybody is capable of doing something like that to children, you know what I'm saying? So I would always try to give people the benefit of a doubt, but always be mindful that there are some weirdos out here. So,
right.
So you always have to be mindful of that no matter what. There's definitely a lot of
Did you get a chance to hear the victim's impact statement?
No, I don't want to hear it.
Oh yeah,
Stuff like that. I don't like.
It was
to
pretty
hear
bad.
stuff
It was
like
pretty
that.
bad. It was pretty bad.
I don't want to hear about stuff like that. I don't want to hear it. It hurts to hear.
It was definitely. Yeah, it was definitely bad.
Yeah.
But are you
Yeah.
familiar with the accusation? Not even accusation. He's convicted now. Are you
I believe it's
familiar
a
with
14-year
a
old girl.
14-year-old? Yes.
Yeah, I heard it's a 14-year-old girl, and I guess he was dating her mother or something like that,
Yeah.
which seems to be, I've heard of stuff like this before, with other people in the community that date people, and the guy's looking at their kid or something, so these has definitely been conversations, specifically with people like douchebag,
Right.
Basil Muhammad, Polight. I've never heard, that was the first time, but I'm sure, unfortunately, there are probably other people that people are not speaking about, that are out there as well.
We had your brother on here, Little Kim, former manager. I think he managed a few others in Junior Mafia or whatever. What's his name? York.
Uh, Baker.
Jacob York.
Yeah.
Jacob York was on the show at one time, and there was I guess that there was accusations that even Jacob York had participated in some of this behavior, allegedly in some of this behavior. And I asked that, and I bring that up because I remember Biggie Smalls had a song, and he said he gonna poke someone in the behind and throw him over the cliff. Anybody remember that lyric in Biggie's song? He said, "Uck him in the behind and throw him over the bridge." Anybody? Press 7 if y'all remember that. And at the time, it seemed like a witty line for someone who has a perverted mind.
Nobody said that.
Yeah. But now you see when I find out that, like, I didn't even know who Jacob was per se. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make the connection. Let me put it that way. I didn't make the connection until he came on the show. And Sinetta had reached out to me like he was starstruck. You know who you just put off the show? Because I kicked him off the show because he got disrespectful. You know what I mean? I kicked him off the show, and he texted me, "You know who you just put off the show? That's Little Kim manager or her man." I'm like, "Man, I don't care about that." But then I would come to find out through research that in those circles, this pedophilia thing, it seems to be a bunch. Let me just say, these are accusations that vibrates through those circles.
Yeah, I mean, these people, people that are, searching and, looking for tribes or people to feel like they could be safe or leave their children safe around, majority of them, they just leave their children, and let their children run amok. They think that they can trust these people because they feel like these people have the same intentions as them, and a lot of these people may not have the same intentions as them. They use these these organizations as cover-ups. They all they do is throw on a costume. I say it all the time, like it's like costumes to these people. They throw it on, and then now they have an advantage, and you're like starstruck by the costume. And it's like you're putting your child in danger. And not even that, not just that in general. Like people dealing with the organization. Like I even spoke to my little sister one time, and I was just like, you do realize some of these people are not wrapped too tight. You know what I'm saying? Like you're really putting yourself in danger. Like you just gotta be mindful of the type of people that these are. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's sad, but that's what we're dealing with.
When you heard about Polight being convicted, what was the first thing? Because for me, I was like, I knew it was 2 years in running, and I knew like most likely. So the debate is just how much time he gonna get. But from your perspective and your experience, what is your take on the conviction and the sentence and all that?
I feel like he should have got more time. I mean, between the type of person that he is, my experience with him with the shooting, knowing that, he was either dealing drugs or, had drugs in the bookstore and stuff like that, just little things like that. I would expect them to have found a lot more different. I mean, well, he did drug a girl, so, well, I guess, I guess that kind of, I'm sorry, that sounds bad. But,
hold up. You said he drugged the girl back then?
No, I just remember in the bookstore when the shooting happened, after the shooting, when the police cleared out the property, that there was drugs found in the property in the area where they were at,
Oh, okay, I got you. Because in this case, he was accused of drugging the 14-year-old.
That's why I was like, it's not. I thought about it. I was like, it's not good.
Let me see if the echo's still there. They said you had an echo. I think I got it now.
I have an echo.
No, you good. That's on my side. I'm on the controls over here. I
don't even think I could see any messages or anything.
Yeah, you good. I'm on the controls over here. But what another thing I was gonna ask you is that, with the Nuwaubians, if you will, with the Nuwaubians, is from your perspective, have any of the brothers or sisters ever addressed these claims? Or I like the Nuwaubians. I'm telling you, I like them. They're my peoples. You know what I mean? But I haven't seen anybody actually step forward and address anything.
No, I don't feel like I feel like they're too scared to address it. These people, they're not saying anything. It's like it's like, it's like cult. I mean, it's sorry to say it like that. I don't want to say it that way, but they have that mentality. Because they're not speaking up for themselves. They don't have a mind of their own. They're just following what this one said and that one said. And that's not that's not law. They shouldn't be that way. The fact that Patricia Lewis is still around, and the fact that Douchwa is still around, and y'all know that there's something suspect about this guy, and y'all having questions.
For those who don't know, give us a rundown. Who is Patricia Lewis? Give us a snapshot. Who is Patricia Lewis?
Her name. She also goes by Sakina. Also, her tap set. Hold on, because oh man, remembering their names.
Tabajet?
No, not Tabajet. Her name is they call her Shetep Set. I have a picture of her somewhere.
So what role does she play? Because this sounds like a ring that's going on or something. Is it some type of ring or something?
It, to me, when it's definitely some kind of ring. It looked like to be like these people, they all work together. They have like their own little organization within the organization. They work together to pretty much extract money from the organization, and they pretty much live off of it as their lifestyle and stuff. They tell them that, oh yeah, we're gonna help Pops. They're not really helping him. They're not really doing anything. Then you got other people that are coming out of the woodworks, that are also new scammers that probably also felicitate for them as well. You just never know. It's a lot going on,
When was the last time that do you have any interaction with those who are a part of the organization that your father once headed?
Yeah. I mean, I still talk to my aunt here and there, I'll ask her how my dad is doing and stuff,
How is your father doing?
I mean, she says he's good, but then, in one breath she'll also be, say, but he's still, old and he gotta get out of there, so, sometimes you don't really know because she doesn't really get direct with it.
Now, you mentioned that Polight never met your father or whatever. Has he ever had any communication or contact? Because he said that your father was his God.
I mean, a lot of these people say that.
Yeah, but he literally said that. He said it's on tape. He said that's his God.
Yeah, but like I said, a lot of people say that and they have never met him and they don't know him, and my father's never been the type of person that wanted people to worship him like a god. You know what I'm saying? He always said, walk with me, not, he never put himself above anybody or anything like that, so there's a lot of these people that they come out of the woodwork, they change the dialogue of the teachings, they change the perspective and how things are, and they could get away with it, especially when they get an audience and people build, they have ability by numbers, and people start to follow and then they support, and then now, here it is, 14 years later, people that gave this guy a platform. He was a homeless guy living inside of in that invaded a bookstore, ran up bills and then tried to kill me when I told him that he had to help pay bills and shit, and all the, and once I started doing research on what was going on in the house with Sakina, with the women selling property. But yeah, it's like what they do is they have their little group, and this little group of people, they work together and they pretty much just collect money, and they're not really doing anything.
Let me add. If anybody in the comment section want to leave a question, just make it respectful. Know that Uma York, she's very open to answer any questions.
Yeah,
Also respect the fact that Uma York is married. I don't think she mind. I don't think her husband mind the admiration. But please try to keep it respectful. She is a married woman, and I think you would want one to respect your woman if she was online too. Admiration ain't bad, but hey, keep it respectful. With that being said, so Polight never had any contact. Did he have you communicated anything with your father that you know of?
I've been told that he had communication with my father through my uncle.
Okay,
That
gotcha.
at some point, him and my uncle were together and they were doing a store on Utica, and that's how he was in communication with my father, supposedly. But
So
I'm not really, sure of that. I know that for a fact that they've never met at all. He's
right.
never visited him. You don't know him. In regards to getting letters through, they've been saying that letters been restricted forever. It's been hard for his own children to get in, anybody to get in. So they've actually locked that down as well. So you
Somebody
know.
asked, would you be able to show the picture of the lady that you was talking about? If if
Yes,
if
Sakina.
you
That's
if
all.
if you pull it up, you can drop it to the messenger to me, and then I'll show it on the screen. But as the show go on, I got to talk about, you mentioned Simon, King Simon. I got to
Hmm.
talk about King Simon for a second because every time we talk, it seems to be that King Simon comes up in the conversation as it relates to being a catalyst to bringing Polight to the forefront. It always comes up. Oh, there it
That's
is.
her.
Okay.
That's her little friend. Yeah, but that's her right there. I'm sure people have seen her before.
Yeah. I haven't
Yeah.
seen her, but I've seen it. You sent me the picture once before, so I know what she looked
Yeah.
like from there. But it's in the file somewhere. But
Yeah,
um,
exactly. It's in the file. That's the same one you have it.
yeah.
I checked the file. Yes.
So King Simon, he seems to be the catalyst to bringing Polight to the forefront. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, definitely. King Simon had a lot to do with marketing Polite and putting him out there, in the media. He would do whole classes with him on, in East Flatbush. Simon Templar had like a location where he would do meetings and stuff, and they were whole classes. I believe Sadie used to also go there as well. This was years ago, in Brooklyn. He was also known to have a radio station before. So yes, Simon Templar definitely had a lot to do with him. And obviously we all know Simon edited you. So that's
Do you
good.
think
Yeah.
that Simon knew the gravity of the grift, as we say, a grift, the scam, because ultimately it appears that Polight jumped in with a motive that he knew, and he used everybody else to springboard off and to push that move, that motive. And the motive was to just scam, get over, get out of poverty, and possibly infiltrate. You know what I'm saying? But now, Simon, he was doing a job as a promoter, so he trying to eat too. You know.
Yeah, I definitely agree that he was, maybe trying to eat. That's just how it go. They all sometimes.
But do you think Simon was aware of the gravity of the grift, of the scam that
he was aware that Polight tried to kill me? He was definitely aware of that.
Oh, he gonna be calling me now. You know how he did last time. You know how he did. But at the same time, on the show before, you had mentioned, you had mentioned that he was Godfather or some type of.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, or he used to always call me like his goddaughter.
Right.
So.
But when, and just to give people an update, because I've heard it before, give people an update, when the action was taken to try to kill you, quote unquote, he continued to promote and push Brother Polight. And
oh yeah, definitely he did. Yeah.
I remember on the show he was like, "Well, I didn't know that part," and you was like, "Oh, you knew," and he was like, "No, I didn't know." So the whole thing in a nutshell is that the way that I see this fake conscious community thing is it seems like that everyone is role playing, as you say, with their costumes. Everyone is role playing, but at the end of the day, everybody's trying to cash out. Because after King Simon pushed Polight far as he could go, or far as he can push him, the next push was Sinetta, and pushed them to the YouTube audience. And so, and everybody began to eat.
They controlled the narrative.
Was there anybody around during that time like, man, we got to watch this guy, or sis, this guy ain't right? Or was it just so small a few that it didn't make a difference?
You mean what do you mean? Like
regular people in the community.
In New York City.
Yeah.
So during the time in New York City, it was basically a lot of just the kids around. While this whole thing was formulating, while this thing was going around, it was just a lot of his kids that were around, and that was it. These people, they basically were looking at us, and they were like, yeah, we're going to get over on these people. That's basically what it was. They started seeing a lot of his kids coming into the house, and these people started getting mad. They wanted us out of there. They wanted to do whatever it takes, or, as Sakina has said it, she's going to do whatever it takes to get what she get.
So was it because Polight got a photographic memory? I'm trying to tell you, I watched him repeat something out of a book, and like, man, I read that somewhere, and went and found the book, and like, man, he spit that verbatim straight out the book. So is it fair to say that Polight was able to grasp some of the terminology, even some of the concepts, spit it back, and gain prominence in order to?
Of course, I see a lot of people study my father. All they do is they go to his YouTube videos and they study him verbatim. They literally study his gestures, his hand gestures, the way he talked, the baritones, the knowledge. I've seen it with Nature Boy. I've seen it with a lot of different people, that come up out of nowhere in the conscious community that speaks, my father's stuff, So, yeah, it's easy. I mean, as long as they have access to his books and access to a lot of his videos, which is on YouTube, but these people have thousands and thousands of views. Lord knows who's getting the money for that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But, these people have these thousands, these people are watching those videos. They're online, they're streaming all over the place. You know what I mean? And they can just take that and Lord knows that there seems to be no rites of passage right now. So people could go into the store and purchase a hat. They can just go in there and just get one of the, the hats, and then they walk it around with one of them and call themselves a Nwaubian. And, unfortunately, these people are bad shit, Is somebody crazy? So unfortunately, I don't want to say that, but not all of them are that way. But they have easy access to their garbs and everything like that. And, yeah, it's just, it's there's no control, it's out of control. It's out of control. My father have said it himself that these people are lost. You know what I'm saying? They're lost. They're not finding out about themselves. They don't want to. These people, they're stuck. They don't want to go home and find out about themselves, and it's really strange, It's really strange.
Somebody said that you had an echo again. I don't know how that happened. Let me see. Let me hear it real quick.
It might have been a good thing. I would have said something.
No, you good. You good.
And people were like, there she goes.
Everything sound all right now? I don't know. All right. They be playing. I was telling you earlier before the show that how my channel always went through. Hold up. How my channel be going through this, getting hacked and whatever the case may be. And so somebody asked the question. Let me see if I can grab this question. And so I don't know if they trying to get through. And you asked the question, who was that? Shern65. Shern65. You asked the question. You can bring the question forward again. Make sure I don't have this echo real quick. They try and get in up here. All right, there we go. I'm good. Sis, so this channel is really calling a spade, calling it right down the middle. And so I do have a lot of technical things going on as the show go on. I know it ain't me, you know what I'm saying? But I got to keep on. I got to stay one step ahead of them every single time. Now with the guy that you mentioned, Douche, what is his actual name? You could say Douche.
His actual name is Damian Pryor, and then he changed his name from Damian Pryor to Basel Muhammad, and now his name is Douchois York, and he claims to be my brother. He's not related to me at all. He was friends with my brother. They were scam artists, and one of my brothers got incarcerated with him. And, I believe that he was like the informant that got let out, and they were like, here, we need you to do this or whatever.
So what's the relation? Was he in Bushwick at the same time Polight was there and all of that?
No.
Was he from the land?
No, he wasn't from the land. No, he wasn't from the land. He was somebody that just knew my brother.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He was like a friend of my brother, one of my older brothers.
Okay.
Who has passed, you know what I mean?
So was he just to give some understanding, was he committing these acts also?
From what I hear, I'm not sure if he was doing it back then, but he's definitely been doing it for the past couple of years. There's a lot of women that have spoken about him, committing acts, assaulting them as well, molesting children, and even recent, I've heard, he committed something in Africa recently, So this guy seems to have the ability to travel the world, of course, with the funds of the people supporting him, and do these, acts and get away with it,
Wow. I'm looking at yours. You got a little echo now. I don't know why. 1 minute you get an echo, 1 minute I get an echo, but it's all good. Can y'all actually hear though? Make sure everybody can hear. Because 1 minute you have an echo, 1 minute I have an echo. I don't know how. They said 5. Somebody said, good Lord, these people. Somebody said, ask her about Prince York. And you know what? Uriah the one, I definitely was going to ask her. Prince York was at one point was hitting the side net of circuit at one point, and he was appearing to be trying to, and he does look like your father without a doubt. But
that is definitely
he looks like your father without a doubt. No, but it does seem like he was really pushing that narrative, and he was nice with it. He was nice with it. But then ultimately, what I mean, he was pushing the narrative like he had the same swag, like everything. He had the look, he had the swag, he had everything. You know what I mean?
Minus knowledge. I mean,
Yeah, he was pushing it. He was pushing it.
he was pushing something.
But then ultimately, he would just disappear. He was accused of doing something to a little child at some point, and then he disappeared. So I mean, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but he was definitely accused of doing something to a child. I don't know how that went, if he found guilty, whatever the case, but he just disappeared.
I definitely heard about the accusations of him doing something to a child. It was nothing sexual.
Yeah, it was nothing sexual. Nothing sexual. It was like a child abuse thing.
Child abuse.
Yeah.
It was something on the lines of child abuse. You know, so I'm not too sure what was the result of that. You know, I try not to. I didn't keep up with that, honestly. I'm just gonna be honest about it. I haven't kept up with that.
So did y'all ever have any type of communication or anything?
Who, me and Prince?
You and Prince, yeah.
Yeah, we've had communications. That was before he decided to do the whole Prince York thing. You know, right. That was before he decided to do the whole Prince York.
Oh, he wasn't always called Prince York?
No, his name is Ramesses.
Oh.
Yeah, his name is Ramesses. Yeah,
that's what I meant by he was really putting it on. He was putting that. I was like, wow, he really putting this demonstration on. But okay, so he took on that to really make that connection, so he can sell the concept that he was Dr. York's son, which he is. But
yeah.
Why you smiling like that? Well, hold up now. What going on, sis? What we missed?
It's the circus, okay? You know.
So basically, he was playing into the Sinetta theatrics, the conscious community theatrics.
I mean, that's why I feel like, you know, he was pretty much, he looked at it like, if they could do it, I could do it too. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty much how he looked at it.
Because I remember him and Polight was sitting down on Sinetta TV's couch, and they both looked nervous, like they didn't know which one knew what and which one was saying.
They didn't.
Like he didn't know how much Prince York knew about his father or what type of relationship he had, and then Polight. Prince York didn't know how much information that he had, and it was just an awkward dialogue there.
Because it was stupid.
Did Prince York did he have was he ever around some of the other children? How many children do your father have? Because I heard it was quite a few.
Yeah, it's a lot of us. It's about 100 of us.
100
sounds traumatic.
No, it really what it sounds like is a nice family reunion. How many get along?
Not much. You know,
okay.
We have our we have our ups and downs. You know what I mean? We tend to, you know, fall off with each other, but then still connect some way, somehow, you know, eventually, no matter what, like any other family, you know. But it's just that it's so much more of us that we can't stay so close like the average family, because it's just too much. It's not fitting for this society. You know what I mean? Let me just say it like that. It's not fitting for this society.
Now, one of your sisters is that I know, and I actually have her number, and I wanted y'all to have a dialogue, but y'all just man.
Which one is that?
The one that came. I think she came on for a minute with Jacob York. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you over here like.
But I wanted to bring y'all together for a conversation. But after I spoke with her, man, and I like her. And what I mean by I like her is that I know she went through a traumatic event. I know that. I mean, ain't nobody. I mean, I will say about you, I don't see now. If I'm wrong, y'all go ahead, hang me on a stake. I don't see Uma York with dirty hands. That's just me. But I hear other stories, and I say, you know, everybody's hands are not clean. I'm talking about this situation. Now, I don't know your personal life, but I'm talking about this situation as it relates to your father and the accusations on the land and the accusations before the land. I haven't met many people with clean hands, you know, and many will many people will give you the out say, well, Uma, she was young at the time. But nevertheless, I just don't see you with dirty hands. Do most those that was around the time when you was young, do most have dirty hands, you would say, from your perspective?
I would say like a lot of the people it seemed like that that had dirty hands were the people that that said that something happened to them. You know, people like Ada or Nikki Lopez. You know, these type of people. They seem to be the people that were dirty. I mean, including I don't want to say some of the people like the younger girls, they were very promiscuous and stuff like that, with each other. I've seen, things as a kid, on that land. So they were promiscuous with people that were coming on the land, that would just come in to visit up the hill. So it was a lot going on that land.
I'm trying to, somebody sent me a Cash App, and it says, ask her if life was wave the next Polight. Life Wave. Who is Life Wave? Is that the person? Is that the person that you told me about earlier? Is that a person?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, is that a person? Yeah, that's a person.
Remember we spoke earlier, so let me cut you with the one time. So Sister Uma is going to come back, and she's going to inform us of all the new and upcoming grifters. As she says, she travels a lot, and she's able to on these flights. I think she's able to do more catching up than the average person. And so she is going to come back on the next show, and she's going to give us the update on the up and coming grifters, the up and coming people that I will be researching. We're going to look for 3 people that, and if me and Moochie Bear find them not being solid, we're going to get them. And so Mathis said, is Life Wave the next Polight, according to you?
I don't know, but
well, who is Life Wave?
He definitely gives off a lot of red flags. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people, I guess people don't realize you gotta just pay attention to. They're taking your money and not giving you products and stuff. They have something to sell, and they have their own personal agenda. This guy Lifeway, he just out of nowhere, built his own store in the middle of two stores that are, owned by, my father's organization, which has been extracting funds from those other 2 stores because he's literally directly in the middle. And then the guy has a large following, and he's been with celebrities and all of this, and that's how he markets himself. He markets himself as a person that is a health guru, trying to help heal people with herbs and stuff like that. And he has this like
somebody say this. Somebody says in the chat that this sound like it's staged. I don't know. I don't know.
Staged.
Yeah, we sound staged.
Staged how?
I mean, that sounds silly. But what it is that, as I said before, you and I, whenever we communicate, we have a little flow, and it's just a natural flow of a brother and a sisters having a conversation, just like you would have a conversation anywhere else. It is what it is. And so it's not, it's more of natural as opposed to stage, because I'm just coming off the top of my head because we have history together and covering these topics. So I'm coming off the top of my head. But so the guy said, so the brother sent the Cash App. He said, is Life Wave the next Polight? You said, well, you don't see it as of yet, possibly. That's not it. But is there another Polight that you could put your hand on and say that's the next Polight?
I mean, there's definitely red flags of people out here, that are claiming to be the new messiahs, and out of nowhere, I guess, wherever the Inkies and all of these different people,
Inky.
there's a lot of no, I didn't. I don't know.
I'm messing with you.
Have this
Ping, ping,
they
ping,
have
ping, ping.
this guy that comes out like he's this new prince. I don't know who he is, but I don't know. You just gotta watch out for people. Y'all got what I to be honest with you, I got to the point where I'm like, I'm sick of people looking for someone to follow or someone to be their next savior. Like, the next savior is yourself. Like, no one's gonna save you. Save yourself. You know what I mean? Learn to find out about yourself. You know what I mean? Learn to start embracing yourself. Take that time rather than taking that money that you're throwing away to these people and they're doing whatever they're doing. Invest that into your own children, your own family. You know what I'm saying? And building yourself. It's like, if you have extra, help children, help people that that don't deserve to be out here suffering. You know what I mean? I just don't see why people feel the need to follow something or follow someone or any of that. They shouldn't even give these people the time of day. I'm sorry to say it.
So my brothers that was on the show last time, the Nuwaubian. They were on the show last time. They my peoples. Hold up, Uma. you. Now, they was on the show last time, and they said some things, and you were in the comment section. Plus, you hit me up and said that, that you got to come on and correct some of the things. Now, I don't want you to correct anything now. Would you still be open to have that conversation with one of the brothers or one of the, who was it? It was the my brother living in. Where's my brother living at? In Liberia. The brothers that were living in Liberia. You remember that show?
Oh, those guys that said they were in Liberia that looked like they were in Bushwick Avenue? Yeah. Okay.
Hey, sis, why you be letting off shots though?
I mean,
No, but what I was going to say is now, if we could have a respectful conversation, because there was some things that they were saying that, and maybe we have to review the video and find out what those things were, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But if we could have a respectful conversation, would you have that conversation?
Yeah, of course.
Let me ask you a question. What's the objective of the conversation having as it relates to your father? Would you the conversation that relates to your father always go towards something as it relates to children? He's been convicted of this, he's convicted of that. What do you say to those who dwell on that part? What is the other part that is important? I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you after you speak what's important about this whole story to me, as it relates to your father. But what's the most important part to you? The good, bad, and the ugly, but what's the good part that stands out to you?
The good part of the case or my father?
The case and your father, either or. Pick one.
The good, I would speak about the good part of my father more than anything. He's done a lot for our people. He's the only one that has put himself on the line, or I feel like has put himself on the line so much for our people, including giving them right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, and leaving them books, literature, for themselves, and not just for themselves, but for their children, and people are literally watching everything that he spoke about, come to the light right now as we speak, so, I could definitely, highlight the good things that he has done. He has helped a lot of people off the streets, gave them home, gave them somewhere to live. He's helped donate money to organizations, different children's fundings organizations, leukemia, chemotherapy, cancer patients. The Moorish temples and stuff like that. And he's even built churches, built health hospitals. He's done a lot of things, you know what I mean, that people have not given credit for, including having schools and stuff like that. So, you know, I'll definitely highlight that stuff. In regards to things that people say that he has done and people, you know, speak about, I have not personally seen these things for myself, so I cannot speak about, you know, something that I have not personally seen for myself. I do understand that because he is such a powerful leader that, you know, he's definitely a target for setting up or getting rid of, or, you know what I'm saying, he's just the perfect target for, you know, someone in this community that, you know, was looking to help our people, you know. So that's definitely how I look at it. And I see them do it to so many other, you know, Nubian brothers almost every day, you know, in media, you know. So it kind of makes me, oh, and honestly, the more I see it, the more I'm like, you know, it's like, yeah, he is obviously, you know, and I see that a lot of things that he has written in books, I see that a lot of, you know, these white philosophers now, they're pretty much taking a lot of his stuff and it's all on social media. I mean, it's all on Netflix and they have all these different shows about it and stuff like that. And he spoke about this stuff in the 70s, you know, so there's something to it when it comes down to why, you know, they gave him so many years, or why they, you know, locked him up for so long, you know, including with limited contact, and him being in a prison where, you know, with terrorists, like, you know, suicide bombers and stuff like that, and he hasn't committed anything, you know, as what they say, you know, that he committed. Yeah, I still don't see that as to be. But I mean, I don't know. You know, everybody takes it different. I don't know anybody to be, you know, have those type of charges and be with those type of people. So I don't know what their whole ulterior motive was behind the whole thing. So, you know, and that's how I look at this whole situation. If there are victims, you know, that say that they have experienced this stuff, they definitely, I feel like, having dug deep into this conversation or dug deep into the situation. There are people that have been molested, and I'm aware that there are people that have been molested, but people were not being honest of the people that were doing it, the people that were actually doing the molestation and stuff. And that's it. You know, it just speaks a lot of volumes to me. Even when I did my research on the properties that my father had, you know, the paperwork. You know, my mom, you know, she always used to tell me, follow the paper trail don't lie. You know, when I started pulling up all of the deeds and the houses on Bushwick Avenue, that whole area, you know, that my dad owned, you know, that used to be the Ansar Law community. You know, when I did the research on all of that, I found it a coincidence that a lot of the same people who said that their children were either being molested or, you know, something happened to them. A lot of these same people were signing off properties or selling properties, you know, that was supposed to be left for his heirs. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of fraud going on behind the scene, as well as what people, you know, didn't, you know, as well as, you know, all of the accusations going on and stuff like that. So to me, it was like, you know, I didn't know, I don't, what it's like, what would you believe? You know, when you see this, you see what's happening behind closed doors. These people selling properties and they're really stealing, and you know what I mean, all of that. And then you in the same in one thing, you see that they're saying that their kids are being molested and stuff, and my father's up on charges for it, you know, and it's, you know, and like when I said, when I lived there, you know, I did not see, you know, children being molested, you know.
What was there anything left after your father was taken away? We know that they took the land, um, or someone sold the land. I mean, or however it worked, you know. How is it that he
Yeah,
had
Anthony
accumulated all
Evans.
of these things, but it appears that the state end up getting it, or those people kind of squandered it? What actually happened?
Well, the state, that's their excuse. That's what they say. Oh, the state took it. No. What happened was when my father was incarcerated, they used the property. They basically told those people to, get off the property because they were doing evidence or research. They, held it for a certain amount of time. They held it for about 2 weeks, and then they gave it right back to these people. The people squatted on the property, squatted there, didn't pay bills and stuff like that. Anthony Evans, there was actually the day that my father got incarcerated. I mean, even still to this day, some people can research it. They'll probably see a for sale sign on the land in front of the main podium. You see a for sale sign says and contact Anthony Evans. Anthony Evans is somebody that his name is also known as Bun. Anthony Evans is somebody who also claimed that two of his daughters were also molested. You know what I mean? So you don't really know what's going on when you start to look at all of these little tiny pieces and stuff like that. You just lost in the mist. You know what I mean? So it's been really hard, but I've pretty much done a lot of my research, as much as I can, and yeah, whether there it was a person that was a notary, or a person just passing documentation, committing straight fraud, it was that's what was happening.
So someone asked, so is she suggesting he wasn't the only one molesting children? I heard that right. Well, the thing is, I think this is what I heard. I heard that there's so many variables and so much fraud going on that she haven't concluded on the conclusively exactly what took place. But if it is some victims, they deserve to be heard and they deserve healing. Another thing that I heard is there was other people that quite possibly was doing what her father was accused of, and her father is paying the price. That's what I
I
kind of
mean,
heard.
yeah, definitely. Not for nothing, the greatest thing, is divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? When you divide things up, you get the stories in different pieces. And what a lot of people didn't do was they didn't look into his family. You know, they overlooked his family when they spoke about children and stuff like that. They forget this man has over 100 children. And so no one questioned why this kid is having a baby at 12 years old, or this kid is having a baby at 14 years old, or why this one's having a baby at 15 years old or 16 years old and stuff like that. It's happening to his own children. And it's interesting because me and my brother had this conversation yesterday about how people overlooked all of this stuff, but a lot of his children were the ones that were being molested. And they never bought his kids to the case and stuff like that. There was a lot of, if you notice it, that was not something that y'all even see anywhere. It's not brought up anywhere. It's not in his case. They don't speak about his kids. You know what I mean? And it's
Now, with the
it's a mess.
what I was going to say
It's a mess.
with the Polite case, they actually had DNA. I think if I'm not mistaken, they had 6 samples of matching DNA from Polite on the 14-year-old. I think. I mean, don't quote me on it, but I think it wasn't
That
one.
is
It was more
sick.
than one. I think it was 6. But with in the case of your father, I haven't heard that they had any DNA or anything. It wasn't any DNA.
You what do you mean with my father?
Where they people try to say,
I believe they said that there was herpes, or that some of them had herpes. I believe this is what I heard. That was
yeah.
the only quote unquote connection to it. But me being one of his children, and a lot of my other brothers and sisters, and we're just gonna make it make sense. If my father had an STD, that means that a lot of us would probably have STDs as well. And I never ever had an STD, or
Right.
was born with an STD or anything like that, and I'm sure a lot of my other siblings can say the same, and include these are and including children that were probably born, that are still probably about at the age of 22 or 21. So a lot of stuff just don't add up.
So let me ask you, what is your I know people would love to understand this. What is your frame of reference of spiritual system now, considering that your father had demonstrated, if I can go back, Ansar Allah, he demonstrated, I think he demonstrated Hebrew, he demonstrated some Moorish, he demonstrated Nuwaubian. I mean, it all crystallized into what we actually see at Tamari. What is your point of reference as it relates to spiritual systems?
I am a voodoo priest. I'm a mambo. I've been initiated for a couple of years now in the system. I've been studying Ifa as well, training as well to be, a high priestess, in Ifa. So basically, I've been studying basic African traditional systems.
Okay, got you. And do you see any connection with what you're studying, with what your father taught?
Yeah, definitely. My father has spoke about this, to us when we were kids. Yeah, I Bobo. you know. But my father has spoken to us about this, specifically me and my little brother, Moody, who's also practicing Hugan, who has his own store and in Brooklyn. So yeah, it seemed like it might have missed some of the people who were part of the organization. You can actually see that he speaks about African tradition in some of his classes, like the class of Mwtv. He speaks about Shango and Obatala and stuff like that, which are African spirits and stuff. So some of these people, I feel like they wanted to miss it, because they got to that point and was like, dang, so I have to learn about myself, and they don't want to learn about themselves. They don't want to. They want to follow something, not follow that whole lineage of learning about themselves and their ancestors and their ancestors, and it's all dealing with your DNA, your bloodline.
Yeah, I'm missing Ashanti Zulu. I think you're asking something. I didn't catch it. Ashanti Zulu, type it back in again. Sorry if I missed it. I mean, I apologize if I missed it. I didn't mean to miss it. I was talking and I was listening and I was engaged. Now I got an echo. They say now I got an echo. Yeah, they trying. But with that being said, go ahead, type your question back in there, and I'll get it in. Somebody say, interesting how so many seems to know so much but weren't at the compound. I don't know exactly what took place, but we protect children, women, elders, and etc. Okay, I hear that.
Environment and wildlife.
And yeah. Somebody say, can I be Ashanti Zulu? You say, can I be heard, please? I'm trying to hear you. I'm trying to hear you. She said, can she be heard? What you mean?
She wants to talk. I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure.
What you mean, can you be heard? I'm not sure what you mean.
Guess she wants to come up or something.
Is there any merit? I asked this. I'm going to take some questions before we get out of here. Is there any merit in the story of victims who recanted saying that it was a lie made up by Jacob? I actually seen a few of them stories, actually, though.
What, saying that they
that they made up the stories and that they went with Jacob with and just went with his, like, basically it was supposedly that Jacob gave him a scenario and said this is what we're going with, and we need everybody to play their part, and I've seen a couple recants.
Well, let me tell you, this is interesting that they say that. So, remember when we went live and we spoke about the Buttercup Lounge? We spoke about
I remember that, absolutely.
And it was denied. It was like, oh yeah, no. Jacob kept saying, oh no, we didn't do the Buttercup Lounge, or he was never at the Buttercup Lounge. Right. Him and Leah went and signed that, and Leah was like, yeah, you don't remember at the Buttercup Lounge.
That's who it is, Leah.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly. So she pretty much, snitched on herself. Right. They snitched on each other, so it confirmed what I said. Yeah, they were talking about it then. They were trying to convince me to be a part of it and say that, something happened to me while I was on the land. And I was like, nothing happened to me while I was there. What are you talking about? It was just, and I wasn't with it. I was just like, I don't want nothing to do with this stuff. Um, and he disowned me as a brother. He was like, I disowned you. He was like, I'm no longer your brother. And I was like, okay. I was like,
and that was
back
Jake.
then, I didn't care. I was already, in the streets and living in Best Side and stuff. I didn't care. I was just like, all right.
So Jacob York said
too.
So Jacob York said he disowned you at that point.
Oh yeah. He disowned me then. Yeah, I was young. I was like about 15. I was about 15, 16 years old. Yeah, he disowned me then.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to agree to whatever they had going on, and I was like, I don't want nothing to do with this.
Right. Now let me ask you, where do you see do you see the end resolve? When we start talking about spiritual systems, and we start talking about whether it be E5, whether it be any type of thing spiritual, we always see the end resolve, whether that end resolve is here now or later or beyond us. What do you see the end resolve as it relates to your father? Let's start with that. Do you believe that he will be free one day?
I mean, I hope that he will be free one day. He's been in here long enough, I mean, he's old, he has, he's getting sick, like, why would somebody want to, I honestly don't want to see my father die in prison, so, I haven't seen him in years, so I just, I don't know, I would definitely hope so, but honestly, sometimes, I lose faith because I've been told so many times that, oh, we'll get him out, he's going to be out, he's going to be out, he's going to be out. So, hearing that all of these, promises, from his nation of people that, say that they have it, you kind of move on with your life sometimes,
Right.
But it's sad,
Someone asked, why are you speaking so calmly about conspiracy against her dad?
Why am I speaking so calmly about the conspiracy against my dad?
That's what the question was on there.
Well, the reason why I'm speaking so calmly about it is because I feel like I've yelled and screamed about it so much that at this point, what is screaming going to do? Whether the people want to hear it or not, they're going to hear you out. At this point, I'm just like burned out.
Somebody said, I remember a brother told me when Polight was convicted, and he told me, he said, that a lot of times in these circles that they develop these rituals where the children become the rite of passage. Have you ever heard that? Yeah, messing with the children become a rite of passage. This is what the brother told me. I said, yeah, they, it's like, you ever hear like, and I don't like to throw the Illuminati thing in there, but they say, some of the things that people want to do to get in some of these circles, they got to cross certain lines, humiliate themselves, or do the most crazy, egregious thing. Yeah. And so they said that, that there's a possibility that he was trying to get in these circles. Or do you think that Polight carried on this behavior from the energy of taking on the group that was practicing these behaviors, like in Bushwick? Because you mentioned that many people was committing these acts, or and they gone on. You said it was 15 years old pregnant and 13-year-old pregnancies and all of that. Do you think that, just your opinion, that Polight may have seen that as acceptable? Or could it have been a ritual? I mean, I'm just trying to get some clarity.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. I know that when I was young, I don't know if it's to be like some kind of ritual or anything like that. It seemed like this type of thing just kind of grew. After my dad got locked up, there seemed to be like a thing where these people, started indulging in these young girls and stuff like that. I have heard, um, like people have said to me stuff about, these brothers talk about messing with young girls 15 years old over there at Bushwick and stuff. Some of these older guys, just talking, insinuating messing with younger girls is better for them and stuff like that. So I would hope that they're not doing it, but I wouldn't put it past these people. Honestly, it seems to be too many coincidences. You know what I mean? I don't know. These people seem to have a thing. I don't know. This is weird.
What you had mentioned? You had mentioned. I got a few more questions. You had mentioned that a brother is. I don't know if you talking about douche. That he was accused of doing something to a child in Africa.
Hmm.
Um, is that the same one that you was talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the guy douchebag. Yeah, as a matter of fact, this is I seen in the live the woman Tabby Jet. She was saying that she wanted to come up or something like that. I've seen that she was the one that spoke about it the most recent, and those they don't seem like. Once
Well,
again, it's like how many times are people gonna ignore something? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like when you start seeing these little signs, this the same guy that we said he molested other children back in the day, beating up old women. He has a history, and he's still out, still on the loose. These people are still funding him to do whatever he want. Obviously to feed his little weird appetite. And it's like at this point, it's like when you feel like you just keep talking about something after a while, you
Right.
just
Let me
um,
ask you this before we wrap. Do you think your father organization is over and done with, or is it still going on? But I'm talking about what he left. What he left was, I think, in
um
Nuwaubian. Is what your father left? Is it still
the
here, or is it has gone into something else now? According
I
to
mean, to me, I feel like the people that are there that are doing all the chanting and they're not initiated into any voodoo, any African system and stuff like that. I definitely feel like a lot of those people are definitely lost. Yes, I do. But in regards to it going away or anything like that, I think that my father has made a very big impact on the Black community, on the Nubian community, and I don't really expect it to go away with all of the literature that he has out, and especially with all of these, westernized people also recording a lot of stuff that he has written and taught for years. So he will always live in the memory of our people. Not to say like as if he's passed or anything like that. He has done a lot for our community that gives us the opportunity to be woke in the way that we are right now, or just to be able to have the mindset to work together, or hopefully work together collectively as a people, and understand that, we all are what we have, at the end.
somebody asked, is he still teaching? I'm gonna just take a few questions from the chat right now before we close out because it's getting late. But is your father still teaching?
From what I know, no. Um, my father hasn't written books. These people in Bushwick has been the ones, the guys that were quote unquote in Liberia. Those people writing books. But they say that they're from letters and stuff. That they're getting from my father, but then in one breath, they say all his letters are restricted and nobody can get letters through. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of wishy-washy ups and downs, and it's a lot of bull crap going on. Even with
Let
the
me
fact
pause for a
that
second. Jet said, "Why was she blocked?" I'm not sure why you was blocked, sis. I'm really not sure why you was blocked. But I would like you to email me at taakabay@gmail.com because I would love to bring you on.
no, he's not writing those books.
If I would love to bring you on with yeah, I'm not sure why. What was your name in the chat? She just said Cash App, and said that she was blocked. I'm not sure why you was blocked,
No.
but I know a lot of people attack Sister Uma, and everybody know that we ain't gonna have that over here. So anybody even attempt to attack, the mods is on the trigger.
Yeah, no, I don't think she would
No,
attack
no, I
her.
don't think she. I don't think she.
Seems very
No.
peaceful.
No. I'm just saying. I just know that the mods got their finger on the trigger because yeah,
I do.
you family
Yeah,
over
we
here.
got some weird,
Yeah, you
weird
family
people.
over here.
I get threats. I get all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
So
weird.
I don't think. Hopefully it wasn't intentional, but I would like Tabajet to email me at tahakabay@gmail.com. We're about to close anyway. At tahakabay@gmail.com, and I would love to bring you on if you want to share some stories with us, share some teachings, and just give your understanding of what took place or what actually is going on now. The floor is yours. This is the People Network. You know what I mean? Morse World TV. But let me see. Somebody say, what books do you recommend and where can they be found? This Odu asked that question. And thank you for the cash at Tabajet. Absolutely.
If you could find his regular hard copy books, regular books, you might be able to find some online. Actually, I have a link to my website. You'll be able to get a link to some of his books, ones that are not actual facts, some of that are actually his books. You'll be able to tell some of his books. You can see the difference, actually. You can see the change in the difference. So I definitely recommend you could go there and get, copies of his books. I say print it out. I wouldn't do ebooks, because, telling, you might want to have, I believe in physical copies. You can get books at his store, my aunt's store. In Lithonia, I believe they have one in Stone Mountain. They have one in Bushwick. Some of them they have real books, and some of them they are selling the actual facts. The unfortunate part is that even when you're getting it from them or when you're purchasing books from them, the money's still pretty much going felicitating right back to the people that's not trying to get them out. But
Wow.
that's it. There. But
wow. Let me see if I can get one more question in. I must have did good today. This is my first time not getting blocked in this chat. Yeah, you must have really did good. Nah, I mean, listen, family. Somebody say this is exactly right, Grand Sheik. Let me see. Whatever the case may be, I trust the mods, and so I can't pay attention to that and then ask the questions too. So I gotta trust the mods. But you're welcome to email me at tahakabay@gmail.com, and we definitely can bring you on the show and talk to you. But Uma, before I let you go, what is the ultimate message that you want to send to the people as it relates to Polight situation first, and secondly, lastly, what is a word of inspiration you can give to the people? Because sis, you got to admit, you've been through some stuff just considering who you are the daughter of, and that's not exclusively to you. That's any of Dr. York's children that has been to the forefront. They've been through some stuff. You know what I mean? Hold up, you muted. Let me see. Hold up, how you get muted? Did you mute yourself? Let me see something. How you get muted? I can't hear nothing you say. Check. How you mute yourself? Hold up. They didn't mute it, sis. You went out and then you was muted. Let me see something. I don't know how you got muted. Let me see something. Check. She needs to bring it down several notches. You can hear me, sis? I can't hear you at all. Let me see. I don't know how that happened. I'm trying to tell you. Look, I'm gonna see if I can send you another. Let me see you another link so we can at least close out. Let me see if I can send you another link. At least we can close out. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how that one happened, but they got something going on that they got something going on that pad. I can't hear nothing you saying. All right. Let me send you that link right there. Dang. So we already know, fam. We gonna have to anybody that come in. Cause I think she said she was on an iPad. So last time somebody came in, they was on a computer, didn't have an issue. So, and then the iPad is wireless, so them people can act crazy whenever they want to. All right, I can hear you now.
Yeah, okay.
Hold on one second. Let me bring you back in.
It's probably really choppy.
That's all right. Let me bring you back in. I need to where you at? All right.
Yeah, it looks really choppy now.
No, you all right. We're gonna close out in a second. I just need to bring you back in. Right here.
Yeah, my apologies.
Space. Oh. All right, there you go. All right, so you back on the show.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm telling you, they play these games real heavy.
Yeah, that was weird because I don't know how that happened. I'm sorry. I can't see none of the questions or anything. So.
That's okay. All the questions are gone. But I want you to close us out, actually. Like I said, how do you see things? Say, let's look at Brother Polight. Let's look at Polight, for example. Let me ask you this. This is just trivia. Do you think he will recover from this, or is it over?
I mean, when you mean recover, you mean with his sick mentality?
What I mean recover is his image is gone. He continues to go on the internet as if he didn't do anything. He continued to, he doesn't go, but he have his wife post, is it over, or does he come back and reinvent himself and carry it on?
It really just depends because, a lot of these people, they tend to have followers. It all just depends on their followers. For as long as there's someone still stroking their ego, then they will still, create a platform. I would hope with the type of charges that he have. I mean, we all know what normally happens to those type of people, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So that stuff like this don't have to, because in most cases, that's sick. The things that he has done was very atrocious with that young woman, that child. That was a child, you know what I mean? So it was sick, so and I don't.
Now,
I would hope he would sit his ass down somewhere. Let me just say that.
Absolutely. Now, what is your ultimate what is for our people? What do you see for you? Say you go be a priestess? Yeah, we need to know, what do you see for our people as you're studying to be a priestess? What do you see for our people in the future? Look, it went back out. They done locked you out again. Y'all peep that? Y'all peep how it blinked and then went out? Anybody peep that? Can't hear nothing you said. Anybody? Press 7 if y'all peep that. Your screen blinked and then it went out. It went totally out. Let me see. That's crazy. That's crazy how they did that. See if you can go out and come back in real quick. That's what happened the first time. She it blinked, and then the next thing you know, it went out. That's how it happened the first time. That's crazy. And the thing is that this the bringing the guests, it's coming through from the
Hello.
from online, so they can make a move like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you back in.
Hello. Okay, you can hear me now. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get this last question off. What do you see for our people as one who is moving into spiritual systems? What do you envision for our people? Will we get past these type of things? Will we overcome? What we got going on?
I would hope that our people would get past, you know, wanting to follow, someone, or wanting to, seek a certain validation in other people, and to, get on the path of, spirituality. I think it would be such a great movement for our people, for us to learn about our old ways, our ancient ways, to learn about our loved ones, our ancestors, our DNA, and what makes us the greater people that we are, and those things that, we lack, that was taken from us, we to learn all of these things all over again, and that would make us all, the most powerful, people on this planet, back to the way it used to be. I believe that it all starts with the source, and the source is within yourself. Everything else is still around you. Life is still around you, and life exists around you, like energy, food, we air, so to me, I feel like we all need to stop combating with one another, and find something that we all can get on one accord with, and like, a lot of my friends hear me say a lot. I'm always like, we all need trees to breathe, so let's at least get on that one accord, set, and learn to accept each other for who we are, no matter what religion that, we want to partake in, or whatever, way of life that we want to partake in, still learn to accept each other for who we are, and that will make our people, better, or it would definitely, help a lot in regards to, unifying us,
Indeed. But I'm gonna let you go, sis. Sis, we got to come back. What's the other 2 shows we got to do?
Oh no, let me see. You said 2 more shows. We said, what's the next 2?
We got to look at the new, the up and coming.
Oh, you said the up and coming scam artists in the community.
Yeah.
And then another one, right?
And there's one more that I wanted to I forget what it was, but I definitely, if Brother Nam reach out to me, I would definitely like to have a respectable conversation. And if Ashanti Zulu wants to come on and we can have a round table conversation, that'll be nice too.
You wanted to do that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that'll be nice too. All right. But I appreciate you, sis. Anything you want to say going out the door?
I guess peace and love to everybody, and thank you. I appreciate you for taking the time out. Hey, peace and love, respect, and unity.
Now, don't you go nowhere yet. This was another excellent presentation. As I was looking at the comment section, you get a lot of love. A lot of people appreciate you having the we say in the More Science Temple of America, having the courage enough for truth. In other words, that you don't sugarcoat, you say what it is, and it just fall where it may. You got to accept it or reject it, but you said it, and it is what it is. And I think we all can appreciate that. You know what I mean? I think we all can appreciate that. And
I don't see no reason in holding things back. If we all were like a unity, like a family, I feel like you all should know we should all protect each other, as a family. And the reality of it, the whole purpose is to protect the children and to protect the lineage of our bloodlines. And if we learn to get more in tune with ourselves, then we will respect it more. So
I look at it on that level.
Another thing I'm gonna be doing, I want to have. I mean, your husband was supposed to speak about a week or two ago, something like that. But I want to speak with him. He has some skills that he can offer to the community, and I think just from the first time that I spoke with him, that I think he can verbalize some of his talents and maybe inspire somebody. As I said at the beginning of the show, it's okay to expose the frauds. It's okay to throw them under the bus. But if people don't understand their own ability within themselves and don't know which way to go, what's the point of exposing the frauds? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Once you expose the frauds, then those who leave the frauds, where do they go? And so I would like to bring your husband on one day to inspire them.
You know what? It's funny.
Absolutely.
So it's funny that you say that. So, you know, I definitely said what I said about this guy Lifeway in regards to him being pretty much a fraud in the community and stuff. But there are other people that have been in the community for a long time that also do herbal. You know, people can find them on my page, on my Instagram, Uma York. You know, they can find their information. I'm always promoting people that have been in our community for a long time, including Fresh Haven Farms and stuff like that. You know, that's all the way in Philly that teaches people how to farm. So, you know, I'm always posting things that is geared towards, you know, people that's helping, you know, our community or teaching us things or, you know, building and, you know, uplifting our people. So, you know, you just gotta find me.
Absolutely.
You know?
And one thing about you before they take you out, your fashion sense. Your fashion, sense. You be always swagged out. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Do you design most of what you wear, or what percentage of what you wear do you design?
Yeah, pretty much all of what I wear, including this Woman York's hoodie, real quick that I just threw.
Can I? I want one of them bucket hats. You sent me a picture today.
Oh yeah.
I want them bucket hats.
The bucket hats.
Can I get a bucket hat or something on Real TV and give
Definitely. I have bucket hats in all colors. You seem like you like red, so definitely. The royalty collection. You know, you can find it at umayork.com as well.
Why don't you ever? Much as you've been here now, I know you I know you're a fashionista. I know you do the fashion thing, but you never ever plug your website. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess I would imagine as I've known you so far that you just want to get the message out, but also you definitely should be fueled in order to carry the message around, and your website could help you with that. So let's plug that again. What is it?
It's umayork.com.
Umayork.com. And what do you carry on umayork.com?
I have men's, women's, and children's urban wear, everyday, you know, cultural clothing. You know, I consider it kind of something like a Gap or Old Navy, but for cultural, like for cultural people, you know, people that are inspired by ancient Kemet or Nubia, you know. So yeah, I call it the royalty collection, you know.
And that's what you do.
Yes, that's what I did.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, I already know. I just wanted people to know. I want people to know what you do, because you do. Like sometimes I be moving about and I'll be working and I'll get the alert that you're live on Instagram or something. And every single time, like, sis be putting that wear on. She don't be playing
I'm
with
actually working on something else as well. I'm working on a formula to reverse mental health in the brain, help with neurological damages and stuff like that. So I've been researching, doing research on different herbs and stuff that helps with that, and coming up with my little concoction. I have some people that, you know, I'm experimenting it with, you know, and it's been doing pretty good, and everybody's been saying they've been getting good success rate on it. So yeah, that's also something I've been working on as well. Shall I say?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, here on Real TV, we give out doctors degrees. So we made Inky a doctor. We made generals. You know what I mean? So if you make that, you gonna be a doctor. We go,
I don't want to be. I don't want to be a doctor.
We gonna give you a doctor degree. Nah, I just
want something that would
just
help.
But we do be giving out doctor degrees to these crazy people though. But no, sis, I would love for you to bring it on the show and give us some testimonies, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they always talk about there's something wrong with our kids and stuff like that, but nobody talks about how to reverse the effects of whatever's going on in their brain to teach them to focus. And there's so many different herbs out there that can help. Instead they want to give them drugs, and mess them up, even more. So instead, I feel like, there's always some herb that can fix things, so that's just how I am. That's how I live my life.
Absolutely. Somebody, the last question, somebody say, Uma, you going to do hoodies for the fall and beanies?
Oh yeah, there's hoodies and beanies already on the website. Yes. And sweatpants, t-shirts. Yep, it's already up there.
That's what I'm talking about. And I'm going there as soon as the show go down, because I didn't even realize that I just see you swagged out, and I know that you make clothes.
And it's always my gear.
Yeah, it's always. You know what I mean? I'm like, hold up. But I didn't know you had umayork.com, but I'll be going there momentarily. But sis, thank you so much. I appreciate you, sis. Anything else you want to add?
Anytime. Well, I was gonna mention in regards to why I never really market it is because people always feel like you're trying to take money from them or something like that, or I've been doing my fashion for a while, and I look at it like if a person wants to support, they'll support, and I just go from there. I'm not.
You're not a grifter.
I guess whatever. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I don't really care for, because people would even say, give me your Cash App and stuff. And even to me, I feel like if there's not a purpose behind it, I'm like, no, thank you. But I'll tell them, if you want to do something, just go on my website and support on my website, purchase some things and go from there, and that will support. And that also supports me and my endeavors in regards to traveling and helping children around the world and feeding children in Haiti and stuff like that. So, that it works, when it is working,
Absolutely.
But I'm not. I honestly haven't been pushing it. I still, overheading myself no matter what.
That's all right, sis. We're gonna make sure you get the push over here. But let me thank you again, sis. Like I said, I'm gonna be texting your husband. See if we could throw something together, and we all throw something together, maybe hopefully for next week if we got some free time. But I definitely appreciate you. Thank you for coming through and taking the time. We've been here for quite some time. I appreciate you, sis. I'm telling you. And let me tell you one more time. One of the most things that I feel honored about is that you don't give interviews to anybody. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
You don't give interviews to anybody. You turn down interviews. And so I'm honored that you would give. I mean, before we even knew each other, as we do now, that you would even give me a chance. Because most people, just because you're Dr. York's daughter, they're going to come and many people try to set people up in order for the 1-2 punch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I would never do that. I would always ask any guest that come on the show the questions that people want to know. But even if it's borderline, uncomfortable, I'm gonna say it as respectful and as appropriate as possible, and just thank you for allowing me to interview you as well as your husband. He been here too.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, and we appreciate you as well. You gave us a platform to say, or to warn the community, whether they are hearing it or not, or whether it's being drilled in or not. You know what I'm saying? Whether they hear it or not, you're giving us a platform to speak about it, as well as warning them of people that are potential threats to children, as well as other people, women and children in the community. And that's the position of a lot of Black men. You're supposed to be protecting the women and children, not abusing them. And it's unfortunate that our community, that we have a lot of that happening or that going on.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, sis. And I'll talk to you on the other side. All right?
Definitely. Peace, everybody. Peace. Thank you so much.
Peace, family. I need to ask y'all, family, how do y'all feel about that interview? What do y'all think, family? What do y'all think? Talk to me now. talk to me now. How do you feel about the interview? I think it was a nice flowing interview. I think it was a good update interview. If y'all don't know, if y'all haven't been following the channel, then it will be hard for you to follow the interview. A lot of the interview is a succession, if you will, you know, because she's been here like 3 or 4 times, you know what I mean? But I want y'all to know, how do y'all like the interview? I appreciate the Knife Power say dope interview, Steven. And then you would have to, like I said, if this your first time watching Moorish World TV, if this your first time watching Moorish World TV, you might be like, but if you understand, like, we started from the bottom, from the first interview. So all you would have to do is go to Moorish World TV in the browser and put in Uma York, and all of our videos should come up. You know, even with her and her husband when they went to one of the interviews I like that we did when she came back from Egypt, because I'm always wanted to go to Egypt, and I am going to Egypt. But she gave us a tidbit of truth. She said, well, you know, when you go to Cairo, you know, it's like some janky stuff going on and some racist foolishness going on. But when you go into the interior, that's where you see our people. And I'm glad she said that, because now when I take my family, if I stop in Cairo, it's going to be a brief stop, and gone. Just like when I go to Morocco, I don't want to be sitting up there looking at them pale Moroccans. I want to go in the interior and see the people that look like us, the original indigenous people of Morocco, not the Spaniards and the French and all of that. So with that being said, and the Arabs, I ain't trying to see all of them. That's somebody else stuff. But with that being said, family, Yeah. Cryptid out say Cairo is whack, but the Nubian village in Aswan is the place. Absolutely. Jamila say Egypt is dirty. That's right. And I mean, I didn't never know that. And so, you know, this is what's the good thing about having people who have traveled, because now they have been the forerunner for me to take my family. But with that being said, family, I appreciate y'all. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're going to do tomorrow. I'm looking at some research right now, but we'll be back tomorrow with another dynamic show. Trust and believe, family. I'm going to give you the best that I got. Thank you, Ashanti Zulu. Sorry that you got blocked. Maybe somebody took it the wrong way, or they thought you was spamming, but whatever the case may be, it's water under the bridge. Hopefully that you email me. And let me salute my brother, Black Sun. Black Sun, thank you for the Cash App, and thank you for the work that you do. Brother, I need the link to your channel so I can put it in I don't know it off the top of my head, but I would love to put it in a link under my channel. Brother, you'll be breaking down some serious science on your channel. I got a link one day off your Facebook page, and man, you was breaking out the science of, you know, how we see something and it goes into our subconscious, but we really don't see it. But it's implanted in our subconscious, and anybody can predict what we're going to do before we do it, because what is already planted in our subconscious, we're not even paying attention to. That was amazing video that you did, and many others that you did too. So I want to help people to go to your channel too, soon as I get that link from the next show. With that being said, family, I appreciate y'all, and I'm up out of here, family. It is what it is. You follow me? Peace and love.
Yeah.
All right?
Islam. I'm trying to be your friend, man. That's right. Trying to be your friend, bro.
The Knife Power.
Meet me halfway. Come on. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. Now let me be your friend. Peace and love. Let me be your friend. Peace and love. I said you ain't never met a more like me, and you ain't never ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love. You let me be your friend. Peace and love. Hey yo, I used to be a thug until I met the prophet. Now I'm all about love, truth, peace, and freedom till I return to Allah. One day we gon' meet him. I'm all about justice. That's the focus of the message. Sometimes Asiatics make me wanna forget the lessons. I be all up in my passion from all the Moorish passion. All things considered, I start laughing. A grown man with a ponytail, another calling us Neanderthal, and he all pale. I mean, for real, this is what it come to, my brother. We got nothing better to do than talk down to each other. Yeah, we can be scholarly or we can get gutter. We are the children of one father, and the breast of one mother has nursed us all. And first of all, we beefing while the fiend trying to murk us all. You need to chill, my brother. Tell the elder the same, cause on the real, my man, I'm really about them things. I can take the feds off and get back in the low and return to the state where they used to call me dope. But no, I'm rolling with the prophet of Allah. I want love, not war. Standing on that floor, and I'm holding the square. The compass and the axe, that might be too deep. Yo, let's not get off track. See, our prophet was an adept. Do you know what that is? An Egyptian adept is a brother who lived by the universal science developed in the Nile. We call it Islamism, but it's the same, my child. Sit at the foot of a master. I train you up, but I might have to bang you up. I still love you, and those that's talking that this ain't Islam. Everything the prophet brought is in the Quran. All the other stuff, prostrate and cover up, is just the start. The nearest place to me, the law is the heart. You can dress like Imhotep, but you can dress like an herb. While the Moorish American Muslim unifies the word. You can say what you want about Dr. York, but he gave you different variations of the same thought. You don't appreciate that. You won't appreciate me. Appreciate the holy and divine Drew Ali. People refuse to admit it. He the first that ever did it. Europeans hope that the Moors would forget it, but we here, strong, alive and well, resurrected from hell with a story to tell. So pay attention and listen and consider the facts. You know it's humanly impossible for you to be black. I guess a Chinaman is yellow, a Mexican is brown. Just think for a second how ridiculous it sounds. We can turn it around, but we must unite. It's okay to disagree, but we don't have to fight. Cause if we have to fight, you know how we get. I'm still learning to love. No, I'm not there yet. So work with me, fam, and I'ma work with you. And let's all work together and do what we gotta do. Cause on the real side, we haven't made no progress since 1929 when the prophet left the flesh. We got an Asiatic president, men marrying men, psycho shooting up a club and don't see his own sin. And those that say they conscious, that took your bucks, move straight to Hollywood and straight living it up. And y'all bigging it up, straight cheesing and grinning. But it was your bread to help them set it off in the beginning. Be careful what you put in your soul, cause it could blind you. Unfortunately, some people get paid to misguide you, misguide you. Oh yeah, I wanna be your friend. Peace and love, let me be your friend. Peace and love, I said you ain't never, and you would never. You ain't never, ever, ever. You ain't never met a more like this, and you ain't never, ever, ever gonna meet one again. I wanna be your friend. Peace and love, so let me be your friend. Peace and love, oh yeah, you ain't never met a more like this, and you ain't never, ever, ever gonna meet one again. So let me be your friend. Peace and love, so let me be your friend. Peace and love, I wanna be your friend. Yeah, let me be your friend. We ain't trying to be enemies. I wanna be your, so let me be your, I wanna be your friend. Hey, yeah.
Thank you for joining me tonight, family. I see y'all tomorrow with a